Shabbat Shalom. Are you afraid of the dark? Were you as a child? I don't know about you, but I certainly was. I can remember that great fear when it was completely dark, couldn't see a thing, night lights. And even today, when I'm in a place that feels overwhelmed with darkness, that I have this fear and have to overcome it. Well, darkness, one of the plagues that we have in Egypt, in our portion of Bo. This is the 9th of the 10 plagues. You might think, so big deal. There was darkness for the Egyptians. Why not just light a lamp? Right? Take an oil lamp and create light, if you will, so they could see. Well, the Torah says that there was darkness, they couldn't see anyone, and not only that, that they couldn't even rise up. What does that mean? The rabbis understand this, that this was not just normal darkness in terms of the absence of light, but rather it was so thick that you couldn't even penetrate it with light. That it was so thick that you couldn't even stand up and move as you normally did. That darkness, why did it come about to the Egyptians? Well, one understanding is that as they stopped seeing the suffering of the Israelites, as they stopped seeing the humanity of the Israelites, that they lost humanity of themselves as well. And that when they couldn't see one another, it was a metaphor of not being able to see even their neighbors and the humanity in it. That's what happens to us when we begin to see people differently. When we begin to look at others differently, and it's only when we realize the impact it has of how we look at everybody. Well, the Torah tells us that there was light, though, where? In the dwellings, in the homes of the Israelites. Not everywhere in Goshen, but just in their homes. Why? How do we understand that? Because they dwelt amongst one another, that they continued to see the humanity in one another. And it was only when there were people around that there was light, that there was understanding. Not an amazing way to look at this darkness? To see what it does to us in a world where we become disconnected from others. In the end, the Israelites are freed. What's the cost to the Egyptians? What's the cost to their society? We in our own world, we need to be able to look at others, to see them, to see their humanity. And when we can do that, we bring light into the world. That's a Hasidic understanding. Where does light come from? Comes from the interactions of people. Well, you hear that expression that we need to be the light. In this story of the Exodus, we understand what that really means. To see one another as human beings. Each of us, everyone made in the image of God. And then we can get rid of that darkness, bring light to the world. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom and all the best for a peaceful Shabbat of light.